Hello and welcome back to Sci-Fi Tech. In this video, I'm going to show you to make this excellent Valentine's Day gift which only uses a few electrical components, and this circuit is driven by an Attiny85 microcontroller. Let's get started. And these are the items that you're going to need to make this project. The items that you will need is 11 red LEDs, a Perfboard, an Attiny85 microcontroller, an IC socket holder, a button cell battery holder, a 3-volt button cell battery, and some jumper cables. And here's the schematic that you're going to need to make this project. And down in the description below, I have the code to program the Attiny85 to make the beating heart charm. Now let's continue building. So I have right here my Perfboard, and I have right here this paper heart that I've cut out. And what I want to do is I want to trace around this heart to be able to do that to the Perfboard. And that will allow me to be able to cut the edges to be able to shape the Perfboard into a heart. And now you have a heart-shaped Perfboard. And those are the parts I could possibly use in future projects. And what I've also done is I've took sandpaper and I've softened the edges so it makes it a little bit more smoother and nicer looking. Now I'm going to take my IC socket holder, place it on the bottom just like this, solder it one pin into place, and as you can see it's unbalanced, so I'm going to push it with my finger and melt the solder again, so that way the IC socket holder can be more level. And then solder the rest of the pins. And it should look just like this. Next, I have my button cell battery holder, and I'm going to place in the Perfboard where that side is positive and that side is negative. Positive, negative. And I want to place it in just like this, where the positive is near the top and the negative is closer to the Attiny. Solder it into place just like this. Next, I want to take my 11 red LEDs and I want to arrange them just like this. Place them all in this orientation on the Perfboard, where I have the anodes facing inwards and the cathodes facing outwards. And there we go, it should look just like this. Next, I'm going to solder everything into place. Solder each pin and push the LED so it stays flush with the board. And it should look just like this. The next thing I want to do is I want to go and bend all of those leads so they all can connect together. I'm starting with all the cathodes, and I want to connect all the cathodes together. Just like this. Some parts may need some adjustments, so that way you don't cause a short circuit. Now there's a little gap there, so I'm going to go ahead and take a bridge wire and solder it into place to be able to link all the cathodes together. There we go, bridge together, and now all of the cathodes are together and all of the anodes are now together. And this section here I made a tiny mistake by putting the LED the wrong way, so that's why it looks a little different. But all the anodes are connected and all the cathodes are connected. Now on to the next step. And right here is the ground pin of the Attiny, which is located right here on the Perfboard, right next to the cathode of all of the LEDs. I want to solder those two together so that everything is grounded. And right here is the VCC, the positive part of the Attiny, and I want to connect that to the anode of the LEDs. So that way positive is all connected. Solder that into place with the bridge wire. And there, everything's soldered into place. I want to make a test to see if all of the LEDs are connected. Connect to negative and connect to positive, and everything lights up. Perfect, everything is connected. Now to the next step. Now I'm going to connect the button cell battery holder. And right here, I'm going to start with the negative pin, which is right here. This negative pin, I want to connect that to any part of the cathodes of the LEDs, so that way everything is grounded. And I'm going to do that by connecting this wire. Connect this wire to this pin right here, and bridge it over to the cathodes. And now everything is grounded. Next, I'm going to take these two positive wires. With one end of the positive wire that has extra insulation removed because I want to use the extra wire to punch up into a ball to add an excess amount of solder, so that way I have better electrical contact with the alligator clips. And I want to place the wires on the Perfboard just like this, where one wire is connected to the positive of the battery and the other wire is connected to the signal part of the Attiny. Signal is now connected, and now the battery is now connected. And it should look just like this. Take some hot glue so I can hot glue the wires into place. There we go. And now I'm going to go and bunch up the wires into a ball so I can add a bunch of solder to it. There we go, should look just like this. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a bunch of solder. And there we go, as you can see the circuit is open until I add the two alligator clips to close it. And now I'm going to place the Attiny into the socket holder. Just like this. And I'm going to take the button cell battery and place it into the button cell battery holder. And there, the circuit is now complete. Now let's go ahead and test it out with these jumper cables. Put them over my neck just like this. Connect one end. And then close the circuit with the other end. And there you have it. This device is now complete. And now you know how to make a beating heart charm for an excellent Valentine's Day gift. And this is using an Attiny85 microcontroller and just a few components. And there you have it. Thank you for watching SciTech. I hope you learned something new, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and of course click on the bell icon to be notified for future SciTech videos. And of course, have a happy Valentine's Day. Till the next tech, goodbye.